Hello everybody and welcome back to the FM23 Youth Academy Only Save with Guiseley, and we are at the end of season 20. So let's dive in, see how we've got on and see what we can learn basically. Hello everybody, welcome back, and we're starting in the data hub because the data hub is fun if you're a nerd. It does actually give you lots of information once you set it up. We're not actually going to look at this screen, although we could pull quite a lot of stuff from it. Goalkeepers, right. I'm not too fussed about passing. None of our goalkeepers are that good, although lots of passes and accurate passing comes from Scott Lloyd, where we've been playing it out from the back, which is fine. Goalkeepers, goalkeeping, which is a really weird way to phrase it. So Louis Cormac hasn't played too many games, but he's making 5.8 saves per 90 minutes, which is good. That he's keeping lots of saves. 88% save percentage at shots that he's faced, which is pretty decent. Scott Lloyd is there, 75.6, not too bad. You want to be around about 80 generally, 4.5 saves per 90 minutes. But what you want to do is be down here near Ugo, because you want to be not facing many shots but saving most of them is what you want to do. The next best thing probably is facing a lot of shots and saving a lot, which is what Louis Cormac's doing. You definitely don't want to be down here, fewer saves fewer shots, and you sort of don't want to be lots of saves fewer shots either, because this side of the graph isn't very good. So this is sort of telling me that Louis Cormac could be a better keeper than Scott Lloyd. Obviously he's had a lot smaller pool of games to be judged on, but there you go. And then this one, advanced goalkeeping. Right, this is where Scott Lloyd doesn't perform brilliantly. Expected goals prevented minus 4.2, 75.62 save percentage. He is below 80 and is in the quadrant of poor shot stopping, saves fewer shots, whereas Louis Cormac is up here. 4.2% expected goals prevented, which is good. 88% save percentage. And quality shot stopping, saving most of the shots at him. So in the better quadrant that you want to be. And Roveman Lewin, the Jamaican, is up there for Sunderland, saving 15.6 expected goals, which is very impressive. So that's something we can potentially learn. Defenders, the only one we've got on here at the moment is crossing to do with defenders. And it's interesting, right? Kai Harding's up there. He hasn't really played a lot of game as defence. That's an issue there. Jeff Hogg is also there, 19.74 cross completion, which is impressive. Stuart Faulkner's up there as well. Stuart Faulkner's over here. I don't know. This has, I mean, if you hover over your person's name, it should just bring you the stats, to be honest. But yes, anyway, what we can generally see is there are certain players that are not putting any good accurate crosses in. Kaminsky is putting in sort of the bang average, I would say, in the middle. And Kai Harding and Jeff Hogg are doing a pretty decent job on the left-hand side. But midfielders and forwards is probably where I really want us to focus on and see what we can do. So Graham Cox is the only player we have in a midfield who is doing anything in terms of any sort of output for us. However, 0.1 open play expected assists is pretty crap per 90. So yeah, key passes per 90, 2.6. So that's a little bit better. But if you look up here, you got like 0.3 and 4, 0.3 and 3.9, 0.3, 2.7, 0.4, 1.9. Highly creative with high quality chances being created from open play. You want to be up here. But if the outstanding thing about this is how many of our midfielders are in low quality creation from open play and just generally low creativity. It is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Now, obviously, that means we're not getting the ball to the strikers. We're not getting our midfielders into opportunities to give good chances to the strikers. So, yeah, that's pretty poor. And then you look at the forwards that we have, and we're just looking at shooting. That is the main output of a striker. Crimson Mori, who hasn't played many games, but has 1.5 shots on target per 90 minutes with 0.23% goals per shot, or expected goals per shot. But again, it's so much of an outlier for us compared to all of the other players that we've played up front or in a forward position. This includes wing forwards in this one. Obviously, Jean Villion's up there, 1.1 shots on target per 90, 0.16 expected goals per shot. So generally, we're not shooting very well, and it's quite low quality shots that we're taking. So we really need to get sort of in this section here. So 1.8 shots on target per 90, 0.17. I mean, Crimson Mori is doing a good job of it. But yeah, we have to wait and see. Matthew Penn up there, 2.7 shots on target per 90. So what we need to do is create more chances for our strikers to have those chances on goal. Which leads me to this. This is the shape that we're going to be doing. We need to get the ball forward. We need to not worry about how good we are at keeping the ball at the back. That's what got us up the divisions. That's what made us play really well. And this takes advantage of potentially all of our best players at the club. Now, if we go into the squad, it should be, yes, it's still on the attribute listing. So I've gone through all of this and seen who's good at what, who's not good at what. And something that massively stood out to me is that if we just filter this by defenders only, let's go for defenders only, and we go with attacking. So defensively, while we're here, defensively, our defence, you know, on average, quick little overcheck isn't too bad. Generally, there's some good things in there. There's some bad things in there. Like positioning 8 for Stuart Faulkner isn't amazing. But if we go and look at attacking attributes or even technical attributes, it doesn't really matter which one. Passing. Our defence cannot pass the ball at all. Like, our best passer is Kai Hardo in 9, who is not a defender. He is a winger. But yes, so it's not brilliant. It's really not brilliant. They can't head. They've got crap first touches. They can't finish. They can't dribble. They can't cross. They can't. This is all our defenders, remember? This is fullbacks as well. So when I saw this, and I can't imagine why it's taken me so long to do this, but when I saw this, I thought, oh my God, we shouldn't have fullbacks because none of our defenders can cross. Like, none of them. Stuart Faulkner's got 8. Again, I'm not counting Kai Harding. He is a winger. Stuart Faulkner had 8. He is our best sort of attacking output, but everything else he has is dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. And then we look at attacking attributes, and yes, I know this is defenders we're looking at, but it's really bad. It's really, really bad. Again, Kai Harding, the only standout player that we have in there. So I went through and did this with defenders, midfielders, attackers, and this is what it led to, basically. This is what it came down to understand how our team should be performing best. So, yes, this is it. Pass into space. We've got lots of pace up front in Crimson Mori, Jevjon Villions as well, and the wing-backs getting forward. That can help us out. Counter. We can go and counter. We can launch quickly when we get the ball. Fairly narrow, so there is some passing options for everyone. Whipping the crosses for the speedy strikers to get onto. Higher defensive line because we've got great positioning in this back three. A higher press because we've got a good work ethic. Get stuck in because some of our team can sort of tackle, and get stuck in seems to be a bit bugged since the winter update. That if you have a system without it on, you will do rubbish. Stop crosses because, again, we want our fullbacks to try and close down their wingers to stop the crosses rather than allowing them to come in. Yes, so we're going to go into the final game of the season with absolutely nothing to play for against Huddersfield and see how this shape gets on. So we'll be doing pauses, stops, starts, having a judge at the formation and see what's happening and go from there. My only main concern, I think it'll work pretty well because we've got a Mazzala that will run into some spaces. We've got Crimson Mori who's going to run the channels this side. We're building the team around Graham Coxley and Garnch. He won't move very much. He'll sit there. Kai Harding will push on down the wing, which is why we have Connor as a defensive playmaker so that he holds his position, and Christian Agnarsson can come and cover over here as well. That is what we're going to go for. Johnson at the back, pace 11, acceleration 9 as our covering defender isn't amazing, but Jones, who has phenomenal positioning, decisions and concentration, actually can't head the ball. So he is going to be playing on this left-hand side over here. Right. Let's get into the game. Oh, well, let's have a quick look at the table. There you go. Look, we're 20th. We're 10 points away from relegation. We're totally safe with one game to go. And we're playing Huddersfield, who are a position below us. So this should be pretty interesting. The only other thing I wanted to touch on, actually, before we get going, was that in the club info, if we go into history, competitions, and look at the championship, I would say this season is sort of reverting to type. The most points we can end on is 49, because this is this season here. The least we can end on is 46, or we could get 47, which puts us bang in the middle of our first two seasons. Last season, was a bit mental. 58 points, 46, 49, 58, 46. If we look at that this year, 58 points would currently have us in 15th, just above Wimbledon, with a win potentially taking us to 13th, which is mid-table. So that season last year was a bit of a fluke, I think, and we were a bit unlucky not to finish really higher up in the table in terms of like 12th, 13th. We do seem to have gone back to the norm. So although this season looks pretty bad, it's not actually that bad. I mean, we've won one more game than when we finished 19th. We've lost one more game than when we finished 19th. We've scored a sort of similar amount of goals to what we did other than in this year, and we've conceded a similar amount to what we did the previous year. So, yeah, it's not too bad, to be honest. But let's get into the game. We're going to get into this one and see how we do. We're not going to do any opposition instructions. I feel like I might need to tweak them for this new system that we're going to play. But let's get into it. Have a look. It might be a complete disaster, but we're more looking at shape, runs, and trying to get our strikers the ball to have a chance on goal. That is what we want to do in today's episode. We want to see our strikers having opportunities. Right. I'll tell you what, I'm so nonplussed about it. Let's get John Beale to do that, and we'll just tell everyone that we have faith in them. We'll trust John Beale's sort of chat, as it were. We're going to be looking in 2D as well. There may not be a big end of season review this one. We're going to go into extended highlights so we can see a bit more of it, slow it down so that we can judge the shape and the system, and see how we get on, really. We're starting balanced away from home. I don't want us to push too far forward in a new shape, but there is Marshall. Wales comes forward, ball through to Smith. Johnson tried to track it. The covering defender did track reasonably well. The only thing I will say is that potentially going to positive will suit the team better because we're used to playing on a positive mentality. As Marshall, again, great block from the defence. We need to stop conceding goals. So Wales puts in. Johnson heads it away really well. Let's just up that to positive. Just see what it does. Free kick. Marshall swings it in. Header over the bar. Again, they've got a lot of chances. We have changed our system. So Jeff Hogg, Johnson up towards Cox is beaten. Here's Gright. So Crimson Moore is a deep lying forward. What we can immediately see is Harding is getting slightly further forward if you judge the picture there. He's a wing-back on attack. Jeff Hogg, you are a wing-back on support. Now, options is what we want, right? Options is what we want. We should have, eventually, Jevgev Villions should be in and around the box as a poacher. Cox should sort of push up centrally as an enganche and not drift too far wide. And now Crimson Moore should bust the gut, hopefully using his pace, once he's dropped deep and recycled possession, to see how it goes. I'm not against this ball going backwards and circulating round to try and use the space. So let's see. Connor. There is the run from Crimson Mori. It's a good shot. It's a decent save. And that is what I think he's going to offer us. With that pace and his passing ability, I think he will be a very good option, as it nearly another effort there. Should be a very good option to spin in behind. So headed away. Campbell with a good shot. It was it went straight over the bar. I thought it was going to say it was a save, but the team definitely seemed to be suited a little bit better to playing positively. Connor, Crimson Mori. Here we go again. So Harding, that ball is going through that gap and is going to find Crimson Mori. And what happened, we'll see this in the replay if we score. If not, we'll go and look at the replay. Mori, it's a great save. If we just very quickly go back with this. By the way, this is such a useful thing to do while watching in 2D. So what happens here, right, is they put a long ball forward, didn't they? Yeah. So they put a massive long ball forward. Johnson wins the header. He's got good aerial ability. Cox picks it up centrally as the enganche. He's not going to drift wide. Lays it back to the playmaker Connor. Right, watch this. Crimson Mori out to Harding. 1-2. In he gets in behind. A good shot and a good save. So we're definitely getting brought into this game. Cox with a corner. Swings it in. Headed away at the near post. And Hart, I'm sure, will bring this one away. We are keeping two men back on corners as well. Every corner. Christian Agnarsson, good tackle. Ends that bit of play there. Definitely playing better since we've gone positive. Campbell, ball in. Marshall. Oh, that would have been a tough finish. He was offside anyway. But yeah, we're getting into sort of the shape that I want. We've not created an awful lot. That's a good header, but over the top. I think potentially most of their chances seem to be coming from set pieces. So I think we're going to try this. Right. I'm disappointed. I've been a bit of a hard ass on them towards the end of the season. Look, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. You've not been good enough. Let's just tweak this and just say, don't get stuck in. And let's see how that works. Now, the other thing is not starting with counter press means that in the second half, we should have a lot more fitness than them and step up into a counter pressing system if we need to. Over the top to Griffiths. He can't control it. That's totally fine. Ideally as well, I'd like to see Harding getting in the game a little bit more. Let's give him some encouragement. 50 minutes gone. Free kick again. Marshall swings it in. Jones heads it away. Griffiths back to Marshall. In he gets to the box. It's not a great scoring opportunity for them. That was like, what? 0.04 XG, I think that chance was. Let's see if we can get our wingers involved just a little bit more. There's not too much I'm noticing in the game that I want to change. Cox with a deep free kick in towards Johnson. Griffiths heads it away. Wales. Griffiths again. Out to Marshall on the right. Into Campbell. Campbell cuts in field with it. It's a good run. Ball over the top. Good header from Johnson. Smith's there. Again, it's such a poor shot. We're not giving up easy opportunities, which is better, but we're also not making many opportunities for our strikers, which was part of the reason of this system. Jones goes long. Wales, Al-Hawassi, Smith into Griffiths. They've just made subs. They've got fresh legs on, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Ball in. Header off the bar. Agnarsson gets it away, and here's Crimson Mori, who did drop deep. Great ball out to Jeff Hogg. We didn't see too much of that, though. Jeff Hogg, ball in. Crimson Mori beaten in the air. Connor recycles it to Hogg. Oh, Jean Villions. They're the sort of chances we need. They're better high-scoring chances. Cox, ball in. Headed away by Cairns. And Al-Hawassi brings it away. Right, 62 minutes gone. Is anyone tired? Jeff Hogg is tired. Off you come, replaced by Stuart Faulkner. Crimson Mori, I think he's actually been getting involved in play reasonably well, so I'm not going to take him off just yet. We're going to give him a chance. We can also, I guess, yeah, let's get them running backwards towards their own goal a little bit. Let's go get him running into the space. We'll still pass it into space. We're not going to do hit early crosses yet, but with half an hour to go, let's up the tempo of that counter press a little bit and see what we can do. Now, I haven't set up opposition instructions, but this... Oh, hang on. We'll just see this. We'll just see Huddersfield score, and then we'll... I told you. And then we'll go back to what I was actually going to show. It's a set-piece goal. We're going to score... We're going to concede set pieces because we're not very good in terms of defending them. But look at that. We created a chance there, which was nearly 0.2 XG, which basically should be a goal. I mean, come on. Let's think about that logically. Okay. So we're not created too much by going down the wing. We could try and focus it through the middle to get the ball into Cox, who is one of our better players. We could try and keep the ball a little bit more. Let's try and change that. Keep the high tempo. See if we can keep the ball. Just looking at our fitness on the team screen. There's no one really dying. Supreme Dave just knocking down into the poor fitness. I think Cox has just got injured. Yeah, that's... See, that is a big miss. That is a big loss. Because we don't really have anyone that can do that job like he can. Supreme Dave is tired. You're going to come off and be replaced by Richards. Cox can come off and be replaced by Marquez. Do we drop Crimson in here? He can't really do it. Not sure. Not sure, because I don't want to change our shape a lot. This is the issue we've got at the moment. I don't want to change our shape so much that it pulls us all out of whack. What we are going to do is we're going to try swapping Jones and Johnson around for now, just to see what happens. We're going to pop... Yeah, I'm not too sure here. How can we do this? No, let's leave you up front. And we're going to get the ball... We're going to get the ball forward. We're going to get the ball forward. That is what we need to do. But let's work... Once we get it there, do we work it into the box? No. But we'll use a little bit more width and go from there. Right, opposition. Actually, I want to look at... Can I look at analysis? I want to look at analysis. Let's go confirm those changes for now. Pause that. Into the home stats. So passings, key passes. We've got Matt Wales on 3, Adam Smith on 2. They've taken Marshall off. Is there anyone just attempting passes? 46, 46, 47, 44. Yeah, so Matt Wales is definitely the guy. He is definitely the guy. So midfield centre, tightly marked, press, tackle hard, show him onto a weaker foot. The other one was Smith as well. So let's mark him tightly, show him onto his weaker foot. And we'll go from there. Now, I think the opposition instructions we have set up for them will work perfectly fine as well. Right, another set piece. Sipetic, ball in, headed away. Jones will collect it into Faulkner. Back to Jones, goes long. Not really what we want. Roberts into Sipetic, and that's a good challenge. Marquez picks the ball up. Down the line to Jevjon Villions, who's running the channel, but can't get away from his man. Into Seshi, Hart, Sipetek, into Smith, Wales. We're meant to be clattering him. Al Hawassi makes it 2-0. That is a decent goal, right? The first corner we conceded wasn't the best, but Wales here, yeah, they've just got runners from midfield. I'm going to suggest Connor is going to be absolutely shattered if we have a look here. So Connor is tired, wasn't tracking his man, so he would come off. I need to have central midfielders on the bench if this is what we're sticking with. Crimson Morey having a poor game. Let's bring Neeson on up there for him. And Dominic Johnson is having a poor game as well. So we'll bring on Kaminsky. Then you go there. Agnarsson becomes the covering defender. And that's 5 subs. So let's just see how that runs out. It's a big change from what we've been doing, keeping possession. But we do need to get the ball forward and try and create chances. Losing this game 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, it doesn't really matter. We're safe. I'm just trying a new system and trying to figure out what we can and can't do as a team. As Dandy under pressure. Hart, Dandy, Keshi, Smith. Yeah, they are chucking quite a lot of people forward here. Leverington. Kai Harding with a good tackle. Now we can break. Kai Harding. Up long. Neeson. Oh, it's a good save. I think he was offside. He was. So, again, a decent opportunity created. Just need to figure out what we're going to do. Yeah, their Mazzalas are making some very good runs to play so high up in midfield. Probably could have noticed that earlier. But we created a decent chance here, about 0.2 xg. Another one here, which was about 0.15 xg. So we did go through. Yes, it's not enough, but we were creating a few more chances. And we're the underdog. Playing with 2 up front makes sense, right? I don't know what I saw. Let's just leave it at that. But it's not a bad moment to think about. But yeah, that's what we're aiming for. So we've finished 21st. I mean, we're just above relegation, but it's not just above, is it? It's 10 points clear. So ultimately, I'm not that concerned. As Cox, what's he done? For the sprained knee ligaments. Ouch. Okay, so Graham Cox, 6 to 7 weeks. Look, don't worry. You're still going to be playing when you come back. Nichols' tactical gamble fails, but I wanted to try something. Stoke get promoted. Good to see the back of them. But yeah, so that is what I'm thinking of for next season. Let me know your thoughts. Obviously, we'll do an episode which is covering the last 10 years since the last 10 episode as well, with a bit of the Q&A, so get your questions in down below as well. But yeah, 1, that was a bit of my thought process around setting up a system. And 2, that's how I like to play 2D and try and see what's happening in the system and the shape. Probably not enough pauses, and I didn't take too much in, but we did have some good movement, some good 1-2s. Crimson Morey look like you're going to be a star, mate. You're going to be an absolute star. Yeah, we just need to figure out. He says inverted winger, but I don't think it's going to get the best out of him out there. I do think being a striker, working on finishing and composure with that pace, his dribbling, off the ball, his technique, he is going to be, you, Crimson Morey, are going to be a wonderful striker. I think it's just how long can we keep hold of you at Guiseley? Because I'm pretty sure a Premier League club will come in at some point. I mean, you have agreed to a contract when you turn professional that has a £20 million release clause, so I'm very happy about that. But yeah, we looked at a little bit of the data hub, we looked at tactics, we looked at shape, we looked at system. I think we give the boys a bit of time to try and learn this. And we go from there. The 4-2-3-1, as much as it's a shape I love, I feel like 2 strikers is the way forward, and we need to create more goal scoring opportunities. And I think doing that on the counter with longer balls could be the way to go. But I'm always happy to understand your thoughts, see what's going on, and get involved. So thank you so much for watching. I am on holiday as you watch this, and when I get back, we'll be cracking into the Q&A and then starting season 21. Thank you so much for watching. For now, I'm out. Cheers.